Hello everybody, Ian Lee here. Hope y'all are well today. In this video, I wanted to talk about being creative in the practice room and exercising your creativity in the practice room. Being able to take concepts and ideas that you are working on and you love and making them flexible, fitting them to your own thing. Making up your own exercises is what it comes down to. Like using something that you already know and you're working on and trying to get better at, but make up your own exercise so you end up creating your own voice, essentially, which is, I think, very important for us. After all, why do we do all this practice and all this work? It's so that we can be creative. We want to go play. We want to go play music. We want to go make art. That's part of what we want to do. It doesn't matter if you're jamming with some friends or you're on stage in front of 5,000 people. It's irrelevant. You want to have the freedom to just go play. Whenever that idea strikes you in that moment, you are open to it, you are fluid to it, and you want to feel like you're expressing yourself, whatever that voice is for you. So why not combine the practice room and the creativity into one thing? Why not make that your foundation? And then you get to say, well, I've been working on myself, essentially, working on and out of my own ways of thinking. And we don't have to start from ground zero and try to rethink the system. We can take things that we already are working on from musicians and teachers that we know and love and respect and appreciate. Those are your guides, actually. The things that resonate with you, that turn you on. Those are the things that you should be working on and working with. So, one teacher I really, really love a lot, and I can't, say enough to go check out some of his stuff, whether through his own website, some of the different YouTube channels I have links of in my description, is Barry Harris. I think the concepts he provides for practicing improvisation and playing through scales and music and all that are so beautiful. But the great thing about what he offers too is allows you to see things through, I think, a really clear lens. So when you go grab something, you have maybe you learn a new line from somebody or you get an idea from another fellow musician, you have a really slick perspective to put it into, so you can make it effective and see the malleability of all of music and everything you're working on and trying to learn. I'll stop jabbering and I'll get into it so I can make my point through the act of music. So this is something that I came up with. It's essentially a Barry concept plus using a B flat 7 chord. Now, the Barry concept I'm going to use, the Barry Harris concept, is the chromatic scale. I'll go over that really quick just for those who are maybe unfamiliar with it. Barry Harris's chromatic scale is essentially like the regular chromatic scale. You're just playing all 12 notes, all 12 tones, up to the octave, from one octave to the next. Except that, for example, let's do it on a B flat 7 scale. So it applies more to a scale versus just playing all 12 notes. So a regular chromatic scale is... Okay. Now, the Barry's scale, basically you do the same thing. Anywhere there's a half step between two notes, you put it there. But when you get to a space where there are no half steps, you go up to the next scale degree. So this is why the chromatic scale can always apply to a specific scale, which makes his version of a chromatic scale different per the scale that you're playing. This is also why it's really cool. Now, so for example, in B flat 7, when I get to the major third, there's no half step between the major third and the perfect fourth. So watch. So what I do, I go up to the next scale degree, which is the 5th. There's no half step between the major 6th and the minor 7th, and I go... If I play it all together... So that's super cool. What a great idea. And even that is flexible, and you can create all kinds of cool ideas out of that. Really, it doesn't matter what note you put in between. You start off with the scale degree above, and I think that's a really beautiful way to do it. And you by no means have to change it, but I could pick any note. I mean, I could go... So right there in between, I put the 6 and I put the 5. So, I mean, you could go down, you could go up. It's really up to you and your creativity. Okay. Now, let's see, what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to apply this to a B flat 7 chord. So again, this thing that I came up with isn't, wildly innovative or anything, but it was fun for me to explore these ideas. And It felt like my own little concept. You know, I took something and I molded it to my thinking at the time. And that's what I want to inspire, encourage you to do and to think about. So if I take a B flat 7 chord, and I was thinking, well, could I apply the chromatic scale to that somehow? What would I need to do? Well, I would need to put a note in there, at least one, where there's no half steps between the between 2 notes. So I thought, okay, well, how about just start with the third? So I said, well, put the flat 3 in there. Okay, so now I've got this. That's cool. That's fun. Then what do I do after that? Okay, well, now I need to choose my, my extra note that I put in between. And I thought, well, just go up to the 5 for now. So now I've got that's cool, right? And then what after that? What could we do after that? Well, how about put a half step below the flat 7? So now I've got the major 6. I need to put something in between that. So how about B flat? So I can go. Right? So I'm not even filling in the rest of the spaces chromatically. I'm just kind of thinking and using that and going, how could I change this around and essentially play a B flat 7 chord? That's what I'm still working on. But now, because of the flexibility of Barry's concept and my own thinking and my own creativity, I've now created my own exercise. And now I get to have my own practice book. Now this is my exercise. And I get to play with that. And then if it comes out in my playing somehow and I'm improvising, or if I get to, however that ends up working, I just always trust the process and let what happens with the playing happen. I do the practice and then let the work speak for itself when the time comes. Then that'll be my own little voice. And I think that's the best stuff right there. And it makes me feel inspired. Suddenly I feel like empowered as a musician, like, oh, like I came up with my own cool little thing. Within the context of all these other ideas. So I'll play it again and we can mess around with it just a little bit more here in the video. So again, I played. Isn't that cool? I think that's fun. Now we could change this up, but we could actually, I guess, do it as a chromatic scale. We could go as Barry's idea. So we'd still fill in all the gaps. And now when I get here, I'll go up to the 5. It's very similar to our chromatic scale that we're already playing, except I put the 5 in between the flat 3 and the 3 instead of the major 3rd and the perfect 4th. So what's another way I can mess with this? Let's see. I mean, I could put a flat 9 in there. I don't know, just, to make it fun. I can go. There's a lot of things you could do with it. You could just start opening and expanding your palette. It's like when you have these kinds of core foundational ideas, it's like you're just adding more colors. You have more tools in your toolbox, and that gives you a wider array of options to play with as you are expressing yourself and working through your own creative process. I hope this was helpful. That's my goal, my intention is to be supportive of you and inspiring on your journey. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, feel free to comment with questions, reach out to me via email, it's fine. I teach private lessons if you're interested in private lessons. Be happy to work with you. And all right, good luck out there and happy practicing.